What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 3.75% during the pre-market. So complete 180 from yesterday, because today you're getting a lot of volume. So things are shaping up to be pretty good. Aside from that, though, there hasn't been any macro data points to really justify the move, but there was a couple of things that did come out. One was this. So a lot of articles associated to ES8. So the launch is right around the corner, and no different than what happened with the L90. You had a lot of hype. That is pretty much happening again with the ES8. And plus they did put out a new video. There was also a new analyst rating that was posted yesterday. And so it does show a buy 650 price target, Morgan Stanley. Tim has a 44% success rating. So not all of that great, but nonetheless, 650 is pretty good considering where NIO is at. As a consensus over the last 3 months though, $4.69 is that price target, representing a 7.5% downside. So it's kind of interesting. Analysts have always been overly bullish on NIO for a very long time, and then all of a sudden NIO starts to gain a little bit of momentum, and you kind of have this kind of lackluster average. But then again, I think a lot of this is just weighing it down, such as Goldman Sachs, Barclays, DBS. So most likely with NIO's earnings right around the corner, there will be a whole new rush of analyst ratings. And I did, I guess, mention the wrong date. It is September the 2nd, not the 25th. I assume when I was quickly reading this, when I was kind of saying the video, because on a side note, I actually don't have any script. I just go over the data, interpret it for face value, even leading into the video. I don't actually look at the data, so it's kind of very much spontaneous. So I think maybe I accidentally just said September the 25th for whatever reason, but it is September the 2nd. Closer to that date, I will be doing a dedicated video all about what to kind of expect from NIO, key metrics, and things like that. But once again, that upcoming earnings will really prompt a lot of new ratings. So everything that does show roughly 2 months ago right here, so good about 6 analysts, potentially more, they will be giving ratings based on that earnings. And so yeah, you have Citi, $8.10. That is the highest rating right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do give for a re-rating. Aside from all that fun stuff, shorts are increasing a small amount. So you are seeing a little bit of a battle. So you are seeing institutions buying it during the pre-market, and shorts increasing. So shorts are increasing 346,000 shares. 11.6% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 178.95 million shares overall are being shorted. So far this morning, they are kind of breaking the trend a little bit. So kind of interesting stuff for that. One thing I do want to share with you though, is I posted this yesterday. And so this is all the short interest that happened yesterday. Like I said, follow me on Twitter. I post this every evening. So NIO, ultimately shorts did return 5.7 million shares yesterday. So I think today they're playing a little bit of a game just to spook kind of investors by increasing, but in my opinion, I do feel later throughout the day they will be returning, because on a technical standpoint, NIO is getting above a key level. So right now with that 526 during the pre-market, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 519 is going to be a strong support. And as long as it can hold, you're going to see a nice continued push higher. 562 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And I don't really see that being touched today, but potentially tomorrow, if we do see this nice continued momentum and Powell doesn't really spook the market like a massive amount, then you could see, like I said, a nice push higher. Coming from the bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 550 by the end of this Friday. And then sub kind of 450 to 5 coming from the bear standpoint. This is the open interest. So at the $5 mark, you have 36,000, and then 18,000 at the 450, 23,000 at the 550. So best case scenario, if NIO closes above 550 or 6, then you could see a nice little bit of a gamma squeeze being rolled over into next week. Aside from the analyst rating, there hasn't really been all that much in articles or anything. On the actual chart, it is above the ALMA, so it does show it wants to continue to move higher above all the key pivotal moving averages. And then stochastic RSI is getting up there, not really officially overbought just yet, but if it does get to, let's say, that 550, in my my opinion, then this is where you'll see it overbought. Nothing really wrong with that, as you can kind of see happens with NIO every time it does tend to move higher. And plus, just as stocks do generally correct, it just shows as overbought. So at the end of the day, I do feel that everything is there for NIO to really move higher. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Where do you see things going? Do you think that the ES8 is going to be a hyped up success, or do you think it's going to be a flop? What's your kind of general thoughts on all that? And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.